What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another Bring the Juice Colts podcast live stream. Guys, it has been a day for the Indianapolis Colts and the fan base and really this entire off season. Cody, it's that time of year where we sit back and we start saying to ourselves, man, like we as Colts fans, we just endure so much, and we say it every year, and this year is no exception.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of wild, man, to be honest with you. How many injuries truly this team has faced? I'm going to be honest, man. I think the Colts have one of, if not, not to be over dramatic, but it just seems like this is a regular occurrence at this point, right? It's like every year the injuries just pile up. But this year just seems especially worse. And it's funny and it's sad that it's like it feels like you felt like you had so much depth. And then just in a couple weeks, it's all basically depleted, especially in like the secondary, right? So it's just kind of crazy how there's so many injuries that are going on. And what's more infuriating is there's some players, there's just no timeline. And it's like, can you give us any sort of timeline, please?
Any sort of understanding as to what is going to happen.
Nothing frustrates a fan base more than when you say, all these guys got injured and I can't tell you anymore. It's like, what the heck, man?
Right. So like, even if you want to tell people right now, we simply don't know. We simply don't know. And we're going to have to wait until we figure something out to, right. Be able to give that information. Real quick though, over 100 people watching already on X and YouTube combined. Guys, wherever you're watching the stream, please like. If you are on X, come over to YouTube. Come over to YouTube, like the stream, comment in here, and subscribe if you haven't already. The recent support on all the videos, absolutely insane. Almost 200 new subscribers since the start of training camp.
Wow.
So it's definitely been awesome. Thank you guys again so much for all the new support and the old support as well.
Yeah.
Also want to shout out FanDuel for sponsoring this stream. If you guys haven't already known, the Cincinnati Bengals are 2.5-point underdogs at their own stadium against the Indianapolis Colts. So last week, the Indianapolis Colts, we were 5.5-point favorites. It was looking really good up until that controversial moment. So if you're feeling saucy and you want to bet on a preseason game, why not just go over here and have some fun against the Indianapolis Colts? I mean, let's be honest. You probably could be favored to, bet against them this week, to be honest.
Right. I'm like, man, you are committed if you are betting on a preseason game, but more power to you.
I saw somebody comment in the comment section before that was saying like, you are a special type of wild if you're going to bet on any type of preseason stuff. Hey, listen, Some people just do it for the thrill of it. Okay. So we love all of you for doing it.
Thank you.
But let's kind of start hopping into this news a little bit. We got a bunch of it today and a little bit more of it from just overall the last few weeks. So Cody, I didn't get your chance to talk to you about the Hunter Wohler situation. Obviously, I just put up a video not too long ago discussing what originally happened. But ultimately, if anyone that doesn't know, Colts safety Hunter Wohler has officially been placed on season-ending IR after suffering a foot injury in the Packers game. He will not be returning for the remainder of this season. Cody, that is now both of the secondary players that the Colts drafted this season that are now having their seasons end before the season even starts. And, obviously Hunter Wohler, I don't think we expected as much from him this season as we would have said of Justin Wally, but no doubt that this is an impact because Wohler was having an amazing camp and he definitely was going to have some kind of role on this team in some capacity this year. how are you feeling knowing that we just lost another secondary player?
Frustrated and sucks for the kid. It's just crazy, man. How in the world all these secondary? It's like crazy how many secondary players are truly injured. Like it's almost like you could almost like to the point where all you can do is laugh at just the pure absurdity of all the injuries. Like you feel for all the players, you feel for the two rookies, but it's just unfortunate because you already have those two guys now out for the year, and three of your other corners are dealing with injuries as well, right? And Nick Cross is also dealing with injuries. So like literally everybody outside of the two new players you brought in free agency are all banged up in some way. It's crazy. I have never seen it like this before. And I guess the good news is that the Colts corner room still has some players, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But Derek, I texted you. I said the Colts absolutely need to sign a safety. Like, there's no question in my mind. And
corner and safety.
No, I don't know about corner. I mean, we just
depends. It depends. I mean, and because we're going to talk about that in a second. I'll let you finish your point, but depending on the Jones-Brent situation, might have to.
Right. I guess it all depends on that. But safeties, I think, no question. Like, there's definitely you got to do something there. You absolutely do, in my opinion, because it's I don't know who else you have. You know, if you're banking on Hunter Wool to be that third safety, all of a sudden, boom, you got to figure that out. And that's what the Colts did whenever Justin Wally went out. They just recently, and also the injuries to the other players, they were kind of forced to go sign somebody else, right, of note. And I think that's kind of a similar way where there's a guy that, you know, I think you can bring out there like a veteran name you can bring in at the least to be that third safety and to just provide some depth, and you feel a little bit better about it. In fact, I actually want to put this here, Derek, for people to see in regards to just some of the safeties here who are available. So Marcus Williams would be a safety. Justin Simmons, I know, was a guy the Colts, people wanted the Colts to sign last year. You got a guy like Jordan Whitehead. George Odom still available there. Jordan Poyer, Rodney McLeod. We know him, obviously. I would be interested in Von Bell just because of the Cincinnati connection. Now, I don't know what the Colts want. Do they want more of a free or a strong safety there? Or does it matter to them? I just think you are in desperate need of some depth there. I just really do. So these are some names here. There's some other names as well. But, if there's a guy that's content with not necessarily having to be a starter, but still is going to play significant minutes. I mean, there's a couple guys here that I think could really provide some quality, some quality depth at the minimum. So any guys here that stand out to you that you would want the Indianapolis Colts to potentially kick the tires on here?
Yeah, I mean, any of those guys definitely makes a lot of sense. I mean, you're right. Ultimately, the point is who on any list is going to be okay with not being a starter, right? I mean, because I'm assuming Nick Cross is going to be back by the start of the season. I'm assuming. I don't know, but I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So you obviously don't need a starter because you have Cam Bynum, you have Nick Cross. You're not worried about that. But you're right. Is there somebody on this list or any other list, the bunch of other guys that are still available that's willing to be a backup? And I mean, the good thing to pitch though is the fact that that you're going to, those guys are still going to get minutes, regardless of if they're not a starter or not. There's going to be some times when Cross or Bynum might have to come off the field. So, certainly, definitely looking at that list for sure. And I love all those options. And I want to actually, Cody, talk about this like cornerback or like this secondary in general, because you brought up just how many injuries we've had. So, folks, I just want to bring this up. Okay. So let's just say, Cody, for all intents and purposes, there's probably you're keeping 6 corners.
Sure.
You're probably keeping 4 safeties, maybe 5. So when it comes to that situation, of the guys that you thought were going to be on the roster, right? So we thinking Charvarius Ward, we're thinking Kenny Moore, we're thinking we were thinking Justin Wally. We were thinking Jalen Jones. We were thinking Juju Brents. And we were thinking probably Womack. And that would be your 6 corners likely that you would have kept. Now, as far as the safeties, you have Nick Cross, Cam Bynum. You have, you probably would have had Hunter Waller.
Yeah.
And most likely would have had Daniel Scott. And who knows? They might have kept Rodney Thomas. They might have, just for extra. So there's 11, right? So let's run this back. Charvarius Ward, he had an injury to start camp. He had the groin injury. Thankfully, he hasn't seemed to have been limited recently, which is a good sign. Here we go. Sports with a $2 super chat. Whitehead, if we do. Oh, okay. Maybe that's another name there.
Okay. All right.
So Charvarius Ward, he had the injury, but thankfully he's okay now.
Yeah.
Kenny Moore, is dealing with that knee now. Thankfully, they said he was day-to-day last week. And
they're going to probably ease
he'll
him
likely be back this week, at the worst next week, whatever. And then when it comes to Justin Wally, season-ending injury. When it comes to Jalen Jones and Juju Brents, both are dealing with hamstrings. None of us know how severe they are, and we don't know when they're coming back or if they're coming back. And then when you talk about Womack, he hasn't had an injury yet. So of the 6 guys that you were thinking of keeping, I mean, all of them but Womack has dealt with some kind of injury.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
And then that doesn't even include the guys that we aren't including in the list, which, again, Edwards also had a concussion this last game, and he'll probably miss several weeks. And then you brought Xavien Howard on just for the fact that you don't have 3 or 4 of your you don't have 3 guys in your cornerback room. So 3 of the 6 guys that you wanted to keep on this team going forward at the beginning are no longer available, at least not right now. And then in the safety room, Nick Cross, he's dealt with some time missed. And, and so and then Hunter Waller, obviously, with season-ending IR. I mean, it's truly incredible, Cody, just how different it looks. Like Cameron Bynum and Samuel Womack and Daniel Scott are really about the only guys that have not dealt with any injuries so far through the offseason, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's just, like I said, I've never seen just like one position group, like the secondary in general, just be as just decimated by these injuries. Like, it's just crazy. Like, yeah, you'll have those occasional things, but it just seems like the corner and safety room, like you said, there are like legitimately 4 to 5 guys who we don't know their status for week 1. We have no idea that could play a significant role in this roster. It's just crazy to me how many guys are truly like injured right now. So I don't know what it is. It's like when it rains, it pours for whatever reason. And I guess that's the good thing about the corner room is the fact you invested again. Like, you needed to do that. And you've continued to invest now with another free agent signing, right? You just continue to do that. So all that to say, it's just crazy to me how many injuries there are. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. Just wild.
And it's wild because last season we were saying that. Like, this cornerback room has dealt with serious injuries in the past and has had the injury bug. But this is injury bug upon injury bug here. Like, this is next level. I can't even fathom just how bad it has become, Cody. Like, you went from one of the most deep cornerback rooms in the entire NFL to now we don't have depth. We have no depth in the secondary. We have none. Like, as it currently sits right now, I mean, Cody, the starting corners and secondary for you in general, you actually really like. Like, the starters that we have with Charvarius Ward, Kenny Moore, Xavien Howard, Nick Cross, and Cameron Bynum, I really like those starters. Don't get me wrong. That is a really good secondary. The problem is if one of these guys needs a break or one of these guys gets hurt, who do you have? You have no
Right.
one.
A
Every
few,
single
but not a
person
lot.
that you had in here to start out, we don't know if they're going to be available. You know, you have Womack, Jalen Jones, and Juju Brents. We still don't know. We don't know about them.
And I'm guessing the backup nickel now is probably going to be Chris Lamons. It's probably going to be Chris Lamons, to be honest with you.
Lamons.
I don't know. I've heard it both ways. So I'm just going to say, regardless, you know who we're talking about, which I actually, to his credit, I thought he had a pretty solid, really not solid, good preseason game. So
it was a really good game.
Okay, like maybe it was a scheme with him. I don't know, but maybe you keep him on as kind of that backup nickel, right? But the thing that's concerning to me, Derek, is how in the world, if you're figuring out a final 53-man roster, how do you do it if you're the Colts right now with all these injuries? Like, you got to make a decision in 8 days. How are you going to do that? Like, what guys are going to be available? I don't know. Like, are there guys
and that's
put
the
on
great
PUP,
question about
IR? I don't know.
And that's what concerns me about Jones and Brents, because they're the two that really matter in this scenario, right? Like, if we found out that Jones and Brents were going to be back within the next month, maybe 6 weeks, then I'm fine. Like, the cornerback room will survive. But we don't know that yet. We don't know that. The Colts aren't saying anything. Jones and Brents were both hurt in the second week of training camp, and it has been 2 weeks plus since we've heard anything about where they are. And Cody, with some of the recent players and how we've dealt with hamstrings recently, aka Jelani Woods, how are we supposed to feel about this situation? Normally a hamstring, you're thinking, oh, okay, like if you're smart about it and you take care of yourself, most of the time you're back within a month. But I don't know about this situation because the Colts don't say anything.
Right. Well, if there is a silver lining, Derek, it is only August 18th, right? And the regular season starts on September 7th. So you still have a couple weeks for some of these guys to get back, right? And that's the good news, barring any other injuries, which, knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But you know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of where we're at is like, I mean, yeah, it's concerning for sure. Don't get me wrong. But also I'm like, okay, if we're getting to the end of August and it's still no timeline, then I'm starting to hit the panic button a little bit. Like, okay, we got to seriously make some moves here. I mean, people were even saying, does this Xavien Howard signing here, man, like, does that indicate that the injuries are even more serious than we thought? And they could potentially, hinder both these guys' availability for week 1. Like, people were saying that, and I understand that.
If you felt confident that Jalen Jones and or Juju Brents was going to be available by the time the season started, you wouldn't make this move. You wouldn't make this move. So obviously the Colts know that there is something going on that they can't guarantee that these guys are going to be ready come the season starts. So I don't know, man. Obviously we got to let it, you just got to let it play out. I mean, it's just truly remarkable, just the direction that this is headed. But I just want to say again, we have 300 people watching right now across X and YouTube. Guys, YouTube has 140 and we only have 38 likes. Let's shoot for over 100 likes on this stream. Please, guys, make sure to like and subscribe, guys. Come on, hit the like button. Turn on the notification bell, hit that subscribe, all right? Thank you guys for tuning in. We are just starting and Cody, that is the first segment. That's the first segment. We just went 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We just talked about injuries. We haven't even talked about what's maybe the most biggest aspect of this.
Yeah.
But before we get into the biggest aspect, let's talk about a couple other things real quick. I didn't get a chance to see your reaction to the Xavien Howard signing.
Yes.
I kind of gave my thoughts a little bit earlier. I like the pick. I know that he hasn't played a down since the 2023 season. Kind of similar to the Charvarius Ward situation. Only difference is Ward's was a personal reason, and Howard was an injury. Yes. So that's the difference. But again, regardless of, and Cody, I don't know if you know this, but since Xavien Howard came into the league, he had stepped into the league, he has the most active interceptions of any secondary player in the NFL at the current moment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's truly incredible.
Yeah,
Regardless of if he becomes an all-pro again. I doubt that he does, because very rarely does somebody come back from a lower leg injury like that after a long time like that. But
you know what, Derek? You know what, the Colts have done this though, where they find these older corners that they signed to like 1-year deals, pretty reasonable. You know, you think Stephon Gilmore. I know it was a little bit earlier on, like that was a summer signing sort of thing, right? If I'm not mistaken. Or maybe that was like even like May, early summer, late spring. So this is a lot later, obviously. But they found guys like that, Xavier Rhodes, like some of these guys that in their past they had been number one lockdown corners, right? They had been Pro Bowl, all-pro guys.
Yeah.
And then they're like, can we tap into that for 1 or 2 seasons, right? And that's
I think another aspect to it, and I didn't mention this because I completely forgot. I think another reason why some other teams were hesitant on giving Howard a call throughout the majority of this was supposedly he had some legal trouble. He had some legal trouble last year. You guys can go figure that out as to what he did specifically. I know what it is, but the Colts said they did their research, they did their homework. They felt that they were willing to move through this and know that Xavien Howard was going to figure things out. Yes, this one right here. Yeah, Howard, Ballard talking about it. Yep, we understand the discussion regarding Xavien. We've done our research on his situation. We've talked thoroughly with him. We expect Xavien to be a professional on and off the field. He understands the opportunity he has here. A significant part of this signing is trust, and we expect him to build on and honor that trust. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely was a major situation because you're right, Cody. Even if a guy was dealing with an injury, somebody of that caliber doesn't have an issue getting a phone call from a lot of teams unless there's another issue. But the Colts right now, as they currently sit, they're so maimed at the position that a lot of times it just doesn't really care.
Yeah. Did you know, Derek? I don't know if you saw this or not, but there's a Lou Anarumo connection here. Lou Anarumo was the DB's coach, with the Miami Dolphins for a couple of years when Xavien Howard was there. So there is that connection there. So obviously he knows him. In fact, I believe he said when he was with the Bengals last year, they were monitoring that situation, right? Yes. So Xavien Howard's been on Lou Anarumo's radar for a while, right? He's been a guy that I believe the Colts worked him out, right? If I'm not mistaken, they worked him out.
They did work him out during the spring. Yeah,
during the spring, yes. So this has been a guy that the Colts have had their eye on since last December, right? Really, yeah. I mean, or somebody within the Colts organization, right? When Lou's now somebody connected with him that's now a part of the Colts organization has had their eye on him for a while, right? So that's definitely good. And I do think, Derek, he can be, because the good thing is he doesn't have to be that number one guy, right? He can be the number 2 outside corner. And I feel like you feel pretty good about that, right? For at least a year. And at the minimum, Derek, he's depth. And that's what you need right now, right?
Yeah.
And if Jalen Jones comes back and takes that spot back, then
he doesn't have to be an all-pro Xavien Howard from 2020. He just has to be as good as Jalen Jones was. And I guarantee that he can, as long as the injuries don't, kill him from that, then I don't think that should be an issue.
Yeah, and this is a guy that's been there, Derek. He's been played at the highest level. He takes the ball away, which frankly is something the Colts defense didn't do a lot of last year, which is definitely huge. Like you said, the most interceptions of any active player over the last number of years. He's been an all-pro. In 2020, he had 10 interceptions, Derek, which is crazy. Now, again, that's a long time ago, but he was a Pro Bowl type player in 2022. So he's definitely, I think, got that potential to be a really good number 2 outside corner.
I like the comparison because Cody was bringing this comparison up earlier to like what Stephon Gilmore did in 2022, but he doesn't have to be Stephon Gilmore of 2022. Stephon Gilmore was the secondary of 2022. It was Stephon Gilmore and everyone else was just trash. So he doesn't have to be that. He just has to play a role like what Stephon Gilmore had to do, but he doesn't have to be cornerback 1, as Cody mentioned earlier. He just has to be good. And I definitely think that he still can be. So obviously, if you guys haven't already seen his reaction to that acquisition, make sure to check that out.
I mean, Derek, honestly, even if he's average, you'll take it. Like, you'll be fine with that, you know? Like, you'll take that over all these practice squad guys. Yeah, it's a 1 year, $5.5 million deal.
Yeah.
So
it's so worth it. It was so worth it. It was just it was an easy decision to make. So
it was.
And also, guys, I have a poll in the chat right now, so make sure to go vote on that poll. We have 116 votes so far in the poll, and it brings us into our next topic. But before we do that, I want to say again that I just want to say again that this stream is sponsored by FanDuel. As we were saying earlier, guys, the Indianapolis Colts currently 2.5-point favorites in Cincinnati to get the win there. So make sure that if you guys are looking for some fun little betting action this weekend, be sure to check out FanDuel over there. And also,
there's a lot more also within FanDuel. Sorry to interrupt you, but there's a lot more within FanDuel if you're looking forward to the regular season, right? You can choose a lot of things. Like if you're somebody that's down in the dumps with this team, you're like, this team's going to win 5-6 games. You can bet on that. Or if you're like, man, Super Bowl, or you're anywhere in between there, you can do that on there. I was just looking at it earlier and just like, there's like, you could literally bet on anything for the Colts. It's pretty awesome.
Yep, definitely. Super exciting stuff, guys. Be sure to like the stream, guys. Helps the algorithm, helps it get out to more people. Again, the numbers keep climbing right now. Almost 350 people
very nice
in this stream right now. So be sure to keep hitting that like, guys. Be sure
I said, let's get this stream to 100 likes. Can we do that?
We're not quite there yet. We are at 65 as it currently stands.
Yeah.
So if every single person on YouTube right now likes this stream, then there's no way that we can't hit 100. But anyways, let's move into, Cody, what this poll is discussing here.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about so we heard about the Trey Hendrickson situation. We spent a decent chunk of this offseason talking about, do the Indianapolis Colts make a deal with the Cincinnati Bengals to bring Trey Hendrickson into this defense? Because like we mentioned before, you can't afford him. You could definitely use him. And there's the familiarity with Lou Anarumo and his defense. So clearly there's the big connection there. And obviously it catapults your defense into a fantastic situation. Now, I asked the chat, does Hendrickson become a Colt? 126 votes as we stand here, and it is right at around 50-50. 52% saying no. Now it's 51% with 49% saying yes. So it's practically 50-50 in the chat right now on who thinks that Trey Hendrickson will become a Colt. Now, we have heard that the Colts are one of the front-running teams to try to land Hendrickson because the Colts were one of the teams that were consistently calling the Bengals for that. Now, Cody, before we hop into the remainder of what we know or what we speculate, what would you give up to get Trey Hendrickson at this point?
I would be content. The thing is, Derek, we just don't know how the season's going to go. And say you need... See, this is the thing where I think it makes it tricky. Obviously, the Bengals are stupid, and the Bengals make things so much more complicated than it needs to be. So that's one thing. We heard, the Bengals want all this value. Like, the Bengals are just continuing to be stubborn and basically putting their head in the sand, it seems like, when it comes to this. But I think if the Bengals are reasonable, the thing that I just struggle with, Derek, with Trey Hendrickson is say the season doesn't go the way you want to, right? And you need to pick a quarterback. Like you need to find a quarterback next year, but you've kind of hamstrung yourself because you've given away some picks that are pretty valuable, and you don't have the ability to go get your quarterback, right? That is my question. And that's what I think is so hard when you don't know if you have your franchise quarterback is like, well, what if you need to use those picks to go get a franchise quarterback next year, right? We've heard about how good this class is going to be potentially. So for me, it's hard for me to say I want, like, yes, Trey Hendrickson, the player, fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I love, like, you'd be a great addition. And this is me. You know me, Derek. I love myself pass rushers. Like, you never get enough of those. But the quarterback position is just so much more important than any other position. And to me, it's just like, unless you can get him for a mid-round pick and a player, it's just hard for me to give up some, like, big value. You know what I mean? So, like, if you're able to give up one of those edge rushers, for example, like a Kwity Paye, Samson Ebukam, somebody like that, and you're able to throw in, a couple mid-round picks or something, like that would be, for me, that would make some sense. Or maybe there's some future picks you throw in or whatever it is, you know what I mean? But it's just hard for me right now to give up high-round picks. It's just hard with no quarterback. It's just tough for me. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, I understand the idea of, if you're gonna go out swinging, but do you also want to potentially risk hamstringing this franchise on getting the most important position, and frankly, a position that you haven't had good play in for quite some time?
Yeah, so I'm trying to find this. I'm pretty sure that there was a
I feel like it's all over the map. Like, there's just people that are saying different things, and so can't truly get a pulse on what Cincinnati wants exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
so I think that so the problem that we have right now, is so the reason why it's not working for Cincinnati right now is the overall number that Cincinnati has is kind of in the ballpark of what Hendrickson wants, but the guarantees are not where he wants to be. And I think from the terminology that I've heard is that they're guaranteeing money for the first year, but are not willing to give him a lot of guaranteed money for the second, third, maybe even fourth years if there's a 4-year contract involved in this. So that's the main issue behind the Bengals right now. Now, from what I've heard, we're here, and the problem with this is that the only people that know what's going on within these circles right now are the NFL GMs who are actually discussing these things, because literally, I don't remember if it was Rappaport or Schultz or someone, I don't know who, it was big name, that said the Bengals came down from their asking price. So like during the draft process, they wanted a first rounder and another pick and a player to be willing to go on from Trey Hendrickson. That was what they were asking at the draft time. And nobody was willing to give them a first. And from what we're hearing now is they've come back from that. They're not asking for a first and, some other things like that. And from what we heard, I think they said it was like a second round pick, another pick, and a defensive player is what they were wanting.
And you would think if you're going to add a pass rusher, you just want to get rid of a pass rusher. And so people are saying, like, why not give away one of those guys that's on the last year of their deals, right? Why not a Ebukam or a Kwity Paye or somebody like that, who's on the final year of their contract anyways? So it's like, if you're not likely going to re-sign either guy, why not trade him away and get something out of there for a guy that could potentially be, your best pass rusher in a decade? Like,
And that's what everyone was saying too. Like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you trade him at the draft time? It could have been so much more effective for you this season and being able to do that. But of course, it's the Bengals, right? The Bengals have some of the worst ownership when it comes to making executive decisions. And then, but from what we heard today from, I think it was Rossini that reported it, that said, no, the Bengals are in fact still asking for a first and a defensive player plus more to move on from Trey Hendrickson.
Sure.
And like, so at this point, Cody, we have no freaking idea, man. We have no idea what it is that the Bengals are actually asking for. But the one thing that Jacob brings up, and I think that it could be something. Obviously, the Colts are traveling to Cincinnati this weekend. Is there chances that Ballard and company get behind closed doors in Cincinnati and start having some trade talks in person? I mean, could potentially swing the Colts in the way of that. Now, we obviously talked about this situation and whether or not we could make it happen. But do you think we should do it? I think that's the bigger question here is, do you think the Colts should actually bring in Trey Hendrickson, or do you think that we move in a different direction from that?
Well, I mean, yeah, if you can get him for a reasonable deal, absolutely, you do it, man, because I do feel like this defense, again, when they're healthy, which hasn't been a lot this offseason, unfortunately, but when they're healthy, I do feel like if they are like a star pass rusher away, that could be the difference for them being a good defense to potentially, borderline on the elite. I do believe that because the talent is there. I mean, on all levels, like the talent is there. We already know on the defensive line, you got guys like Buckner, you got, Latu, who everybody's saying has been killing it in camp. But what if you had a true alpha? Like, what if you had a guy that's been there? Just think how much that would help out every other guy in that room and that entire defense, right? So, if you can do it, Derek, I think that would be awesome. That would be great. I mean, now, will you? That's a great question because, again, it takes two to tango, right? It's not just Colt. I'm sure the Colts would love to have that happen, but it's a little bit different on the Bengals because, like you said, the Bengals aren't known for being well on how they've been handling things this offseason. I mean, the fact that they could have gotten a lot more value and they just sat on it, and then we're here now, August 18th, and there's still question marks. I mean, it feels like it was a major oversight here by the Bengals or front office and stuff.
Yeah, and as far as the Colts side of things, I agree with everyone else that there's no way the Colts should give up a first for Trey Hendrickson because the problem that you have is you need that first if this quarterback situation doesn't pan out for you. You need to have that first because you need to have the ability to move things around. So no doubt that the Colts should be staying away from it if they're staying as a first. Christopher Taylor with the $5 super chat. Does Trey have the same agent as JT? Remember JT's ordeal with his contract before the season. I don't believe they do. I don't believe that they do. Even if they did, I don't think it really matters much. Because obviously JT's agent sees how well the Colts paid JT. So, it's not like it matters too much. But, I mean, the problem you have is, Cody, is, the numbers wouldn't be crazy this year. To be $16 million, you can afford that. But it's, like you said, when the amount that you have to pay him in guaranteed money going forward for the next several years and understanding his age and the fact that you don't know about your quarterback situation right now. If you felt confident if this was a Indianapolis Colts situation and they had Jaden Daniels as quarterback and Jaden Daniels was exactly like what he was at the Commanders, you do this in a heartbeat because you don't have to worry about the quarterback situation. If they're under a rookie contract and then you can get him for 3-4 years and pay him whatever the heck he wants because you don't have to worry about the quarterback, then I'm not worried. But the problem is you do have to worry about that. So it's hard that after next season, you'd have to make some big financial decisions as well, because you're going to have roughly $60 million next season to play around with. And if 30 million plus of that is, and in retrospect, Ballard would probably work his magic and probably end up cutting that a lot. But even so, if he cut that way down, that's still 15 to 20 million of your money just gone like that. And we have to think about, we have to think about Bernard Ryman's extension just got signed. So that's taking more money out of it too. So you really don't have 60 million. You're only going to probably have like 50 million. And then 15 plus of that is taken away. You have to worry about Nick Cross. You have to worry about Alec Pierce. You have to worry about the 15 other players that are going in free agency that you need to round out when it comes to your team and whatnot. So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, just ultimately, I don't care as much about the money. I mean, I don't know how you feel, Cody. I don't care as much about the money situation. You can always figure out money. NFL teams do it all the time. They can easily figure out the money situation. It's just about the draft capital or what you're willing to give up to actually get him. And that's the issue.
Yeah. Yep. No doubt. I don't know. It'll be fascinating to see how it develops. I mean, if it's the Colts or not, I'm just curious. They're very interesting. Very interesting.
Shout out 430 people across X and YouTube right now.
Wow.
Please, guys, keep liking the streams wherever you're watching. Comment and subscribing. Guys, we have 84 likes on the stream. Come on, 16 more likes. Need your help. Please get out there. But anyways, Cody, let's get into the bread and butter of what we kind of wanted to talk about here today. So Colts Nation was in an uproar today. A lot of people wondering if we were going to see news about this quarterback situation that we currently have. And no news has been reported. My guess is we will hear about it sometime tomorrow, because Shane Steichen has media availability tomorrow. And my guess is you will hear about it sometime in the morning. And Cody, you're going to have to be the one that makes the videos first thing in the morning, because I will not be able to, because I'll be at work and I won't be anywhere near my phone. But, I mean, Cody, the anxiety of this situation just is, I shouldn't have to be anxious about this, but I am, because truly, Cody, I do think that this decision that is made tomorrow will ultimately decide the potential future of this franchise. I sit here and I say right now, if the Colts go with Daniel Jones tomorrow, I believe this is the beginning of the end for this regime. I truly believe it. I will sit here and I will definitively say that it is AR all the way. If Daniel Jones gets the job tomorrow, Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard will not be here in 2026. I firmly believe that.
I believe that even if AR is the quarterback, they still might not be here in 2026, to be honest with you. But yeah, I understand what you're saying for sure. It is gonna be weird. I mean, I feel like you saw the fan base, like you saw, like, have you seen the polls? Like 90% of Colts fans are like Anthony.
Here, I'm gonna say this, but let me I'll share it in a second. But let me just kind of break it down for you real quickly why I say that. Okay, because you're saying that if Daniel Jones is your starting quarterback, then that means that you feel he gives you the best opportunity to win games.
Right.
And so first things first, if you bench AR again, I do not believe that AR will ever have confidence in this team to ever have his back ever again, and that he's never going to succeed in Indianapolis if he keeps getting benched even when he's making improvements to his game. And the thing is if you go with Daniel Jones, then ultimately you're saying if you don't succeed as a team under Daniel Jones, the difference is you may not succeed with AR, but at least with AR, you're giving him the chance to prove himself, and you're at least giving him a chance to see what he has proven or what he has gotten better at. Right. But if you choose Daniel Jones, who's a more proven commodity, how much more proven, that's up for debate, but a guy that's been in the NFL for a longer period of time, and you still cannot win games with him, and yet you just sat your potential franchise quarterback that you drafted 2 years ago for the second time in 3 seasons, not even 3 seasons, 2 seasons, then you have shown your ineptitude and inability to lead this team, and it's time to move on. Because I can't with it anymore. It just doesn't make sense to go with Daniel Jones. It really doesn't.
No. Nope, it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're like, talk about any potential hope for Colts fans. Man, you're taking the wind out of those sails immediately. Like, all the hope is not there. I mean, yeah, Daniel Jones might be fine, but there's fans that are going to be really upset about that. I mean, really, like, look at this poll, for example. 91% of people, over 6,000 votes. Over 6,000 votes, 91% say Anthony Richardson. Crazy, man. That's crazy.
And it's not just social media, folks. Like, when Destin Adams was tweeting earlier today and saying that when he was at the game, like, there was noticeable boos towards Daniel Jones on that first drive. Noticeable.
Really? And
there was a massive amount of just praise and overall excitement when AR was on the field. Like, that's what people are wanting. People are wanting Anthony Richardson to be out here. If they succeed or fail, at least let it succeed or fail at the hands of Anthony Richardson and see what he has. Because Daniel Jones does not make this team a playoff team any more than Anthony Richardson does. He doesn't, because you haven't seen anything in camp that has told you that Daniel Jones is playing better than Anthony Richardson. Sure, he may complete a few more of his passes, but that doesn't mean anything if it doesn't result in plays and scoring. Like, ultimately, AR has had 2 touchdown drives in the preseason so far, and Daniel Jones has only had 1. It's like, come on, dude. Like, and Colts Nation is showing you. Look at this poll. I mean, this is not just randos. Like, these are fans. These are people that actually are telling you this isn't like 55%, 45%, or 70%, 30%. This is 90%. The overwhelming majority of people want to go with AR. Regardless if we succeed or fail, give the guy a chance. Let's see what he's improved on. Let's see what he does. Versus, you brought Daniel Jones in here. You know what he is, yet you still go with him. And if it doesn't work out, then that's the last quarterback decision you ever get to make on this team.
Right. That would it's just like, it's almost just cowardly. That's what people are saying, Derek. People are like, it's just cowardly to do that. Like, to just almost be okay with being meh, like, and not give yourself the best chance to win. And it's like, it's almost going back to that. I don't know if you've heard this saying before of like you're not trying to win. You're just trying not to lose. That's what it screams to me.
Quarterback carousel all over again is what this is.
It's like,
that's what it would be.
I don't know. Like, call me crazy, but I'd rather try throw the kid out there again, one more year, give him one more chance. And if it falls flat, it falls flat. At least you went out believing you're in your guy. You tried it,
And here's the thing too, Cody. I truly believe that the floor and the ceiling for Anthony Richardson's much lower and then much higher. So ultimately, if Anthony Richardson does figure it out, you will win exactly the same number of games, if not more, than if you had Daniel Jones. Now, if he doesn't figure it out, it's a lower floor. Your team's probably going to be worse, which in the grand scheme of things, for the Colts organization, is that a bad thing? It's not. Now, obviously, for Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard's sake, they don't want to be worse. They definitely don't want to be worse. But if you're going to bank on Daniel Jones just for the sake of not trying to lose, but you're not trying to win, that's the problem that we're going to be facing.
And that's been the problem for this team under Ballard for how many years? Where you're content enough with your guys, and you're not willing to do what it takes to be a true contender. And that would just be, again, this isn't a Ballard decision, but that would just be kind of the same sort of idea behind what we would be doing there. So, yeah, it just would suck, man. It would.
Super Pony with the $2 super chat as well. If Jones is the starter, I will root for losses. I could never, but I know a lot of Colts fans that will feel that way. I know a lot of them that will.
Oh, yeah.
And
Ed Dodds can come out and say whatever he wants, but at the end of the day, if you start Daniel Jones and you still don't make the playoffs and still don't win anything significant, sorry, Ed Dodds, you're going to be talking somewhere else. You're not going to be a part of this organization anymore. You can say all you want about AR, but if you bench the kid twice in 2 years, not even within a year, he's benched twice. Like, there's no coming back from that. I don't care what you say,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, people don't want Daniel Jones. And here it says you lose the fan base if DJ starts. Like Destin was saying the same thing. Like people week one you could hear boos from your own fan base at home on week one because Daniel Jones is the starter. And Wildcat's in here. What's up, Tyler? How you doing, man? I won't root for losses, but I may lose interest in the season if it ends up being as boring as I imagine it being. Exactly, right? Like, why not go with the excitement factor? Go with the excitement factor. Just go with the excitement and let AR try to figure it out. I mean, even Ed Dodd said it, that this isn't a make or break year. If it's not a make or break year for Anthony Richardson, then just let him go out and try. Let him figure things out. Give him the reps. It's too late to say we're going to bench him and hope he develops later on. It's too late for that.
Yeah.
You should have done that when you first got him, but you didn't. And it's too late. You can't bench him now. It's not possible. The AR experiment will be over if tomorrow Shane Steichen announces that Anthony Richardson is not the quarterback of this team week one. It's over.
Right. Man, I don't even know, man. If Daniel Jones gets to start, I think somebody said it in here, you're going to lose a majority of the fan base again. I feel like the fan base after Ballard was retained and Steichen was retained, we were ticked. Like, we were not happy that all happened and that went down the way it did. And, the interest started getting really low for a while. And I feel like there was some optimism. And then if you do this again, it's just like all the optimism's gone again. That's just how it feels if you do that. I mean, at this point, Derek, I just don't see the benefit of starting Daniel Jones at this point. I just don't, because what are you going to do? What possible benefit? I mean, all I view it as is you're not willing to do what's necessary, I think, Derek, to potentially be the best. I really think that because, Anthony Richardson, like you said, his floor could be a lot worse than Daniel Jones. Could be. Yeah. And if that's the case, you put in Daniel Jones. No harm, no foul. But you can't ignore the ceiling. You can't. I don't care what you say about if you say he's terrible. I don't care because his ceiling is here, whereas we know Daniel Jones is here. We know what Daniel Jones is. Yeah. I don't care. The Giants were terrible, but we know what Daniel Jones is. I hate to tell you, but Baker Mayfields don't happen every day. That doesn't happen all the time. Very rare does that happen. Very rare does Sam Darnold stuff happen. There's a reason why a lot of people wrote those guys off as busts because that doesn't happen. It's very, very rare. So I don't know. I'm not saying it can't happen, but at this point, man, why not just go with the guy that gives you the best chance to be the best. Rather, it's not a great situation either way, right? That's we can fully admit that. But I don't know. I just kind of come to this point where it's like you're kind of capping yourself in order to be a little bit safer. And I just don't like that line of thinking. That's just not something that's ingrained into me, Derek.
Yeah. And Tyler brings up a good point. Super slight chance DJ all of a sudden becomes a decent quarterback. But I think his 6 years prior have shown he isn't. I mean, that's the thing, Cody. Like, ultimately, at what the excuse that people keep giving on why Daniel Jones should be the starter is, oh, he's more accurate. Oh, he just makes the easier throws. Like, yes, but does that translate to wins? Does that translate to big plays? Does that translate to offensive success? Because if you're just going to be dinking and diming everything, then what good does that make your offense? Right? Like, it just doesn't really combat that. And Gifted Mind Frame's coming in saying we paid DJ $14 million for 1 year. I like to hear what you guys think about that. Why pay him $14 million? Like, well, here's the thing. $14 million is really not a ton of money. When you're talking about quarterbacks, it's not a lot of money. I mean, guys, remember that Daniel Jones conned the New York Giants into giving him $40 million a year. Okay? Let's remember how that worked out. The Giants front office was so idiotic that they thought a guy that had 15 passing touchdowns and 10 rushing touchdowns the previous year, and a guy that only threw for, I don't even remember how many yards it was, but still only 15 passing touchdowns. And you want them to sit there and say, oh yeah, that's a guy that's worth $40 million a year. Like, he made the money before. But $14 million is not a lot, but it was $14 million because, again, the Colts brought him in to compete with Anthony Richardson. They're giving him a shot, and I kind of think Jake Elrod on Twitter kind of brings it up a good point. He said that he is like the lowest bar that you could possibly have brought in as a NFL quarterback to actually compete with Anthony Richardson, to get Anthony Richardson to be at least as good as him, right? So that's the lowest bar, right? Because if the Colts brought in Aaron Rodgers, or if they brought in, Sam McDarnold, I don't know, like how in the world were we going to assume that Anthony Richardson was going to be able to compete with those guys? We weren't. But you brought him in here with just that kind of money, just to say, we're going to give you a shot. We're going to go ahead and when we know Anthony Richardson's going to compete with you, whoever does the best throughout the preseason gets the job. And ultimately, Cody, like, again, both these quarterbacks have been about 50-50. But I would give the advantage to Anthony Richardson because, again, Daniel Jones hasn't separated himself. People are saying, oh, Anthony Richardson, it's a knock on Anthony Richardson for not being able to separate himself from Daniel Jones. Like, that's bad. But, like, it's a knock. I think more it's a knock on Daniel Jones that he couldn't separate himself from Anthony Richardson. Like, that, it should be flipped the other way around. It should not be that Anthony Richardson didn't surpass Daniel Jones by a mile, and that says something about Anthony Richardson. It should be Daniel Jones didn't surpass Anthony Richardson by a mile, and that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think you said it pretty much all, right? Is like, hey, like, he was going to come in and compete. That's why you paid him $14 million, right? The Vikings had interest in bringing him back, right? But
yeah,
you had JJ McCarthy there. He's not going to beat out JJ McCarthy, right? Because they just drafted the kid. So they're not going to seriously.
He definitely could have beaten out JJ McCarthy.
He could have, but I think there was more of Anthony Richardson, there's a lot more question marks and there's a lot more uncertainty there than with JJ McCarthy at the current time.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where they are right now. But yeah, and also, Derek, that's something people brought up a point. I mean, the quarterbacks were virtually identical in stats. The only difference is Daniel Jones had all the starters. He's got all the starters, and Anthony Richardson was with all the backups, which is interesting.
And they both played about the same. They played about the same.
Insane.
I mean, and so, but you're right. The difference is Daniel Jones got the starters. Anthony Richardson did not. And so that's the difference. Super Pony saying, I don't know if you guys listen to JMV, but he thinks all AR supporters are video game dorks. That's hilarious. I do love me some video games, but I'm definitely not a video game dork. But
yeah,
I would say Cody's more of the video game dork of
the dork
podcast friendship.
I
am a video game dork. Oh man, dude.
What have I just been doing? I just feel like I have a couple games that I play, and that's about it. And I kind of just roll with it,
I haven't done a ton of video games lately, just because
really
moved this last year, and just trying to deal with finances and everything else, and this, so it takes up a lot of my time.
I understand,
but
yeah.
But Cody, have you noticed recently that all the media heads in the Colts world have all been kind of bringing up this, here's the idealistic situation where Daniel Jones does beat out Anthony Richardson. Why Shane Steichen will most likely take Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson. Have you noticed that lately? They're all trying to give, I think they're all trying to give fuel to the fire. But because there's no way that all of them truly believe that that Daniel Jones should beat out Anthony Richardson. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't know. I'll be honest, I haven't really been paying attention much to what the media says, because frankly, sometimes I think there's agendas there. But yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know. Somebody I always like is I like Kevin Bowen. He's a good friend of the show and good friend of me. And I think he said, personally, I think AR should be the quarterback. I know he said that, even though he said, I think that Shane Steichen likes Daniel Jones more than a lot of fans do. So that's interesting. Yeah. But to be honest, I haven't really read a lot of the media stuff recently, in my opinion. So I don't know. I just don't have the time, frankly.
Yeah.
So
what's up with Pat McAfee praising AR now?
Right.
I mean, you know what? Pat does jump on the new trend a lot, but I mean, he doesn't have opinions that he can't back up with his own words. And, he likes what Anthony Richardson has done this year. He gave him a lot of crap. The entire world did. But, he said he stuck it down. He got the help. He looks better. He's been doing all these good things. So, what's wrong with that? He sees it. He notices it.
Yeah. So I'm just so curious to see, what it looks like tomorrow. What does Shane Steichen say? What do we figure out? And who is the quarterback one? And then we can move forward. We made a video yesterday on, I believe it was on our Reacts channel, I'm pretty sure, talking about that, right? Or maybe it was a couple days ago. Was it? Just about how Steichen said he's pretty close on making a decision. And
how he doesn't, I guarantee you he already knew. I guarantee you he already knew.
Yeah,
he's just saying that he just doesn't know.
For sure. But what you were saying is we just need to know sooner rather than later. We just need to know so we can move forward, focus on Miami, regardless of who the quarterback is. So you can stop talking about this and just go forward with, this is your quarterback and this is the game plan. This is how we're going to take down Miami, So,
yep. Pat's issue last year was he feels players in the locker room weren't serious, and the season proved that true. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we all kind of saw it after Kenny Moore. I don't know what week it was, Cody, but Kenny Moore calling out players and coaches
last year.
Taking shit seriously.
Last year was a fever dream, man. I'm gonna be honest.
It felt like 2022 all over again. when
It just was
it felt like Frank Reich just lost the locker room.
It just felt like it was just a chore to talk about this team because it was always something new, some other piece of drama. It was just awful. And then, you had players like who Wildcats talking about here, who's going out blocking fans. And, it's just like this whole, like, you're proving the
for
point
real.
here. You're proving the exact point that we are making, right? So it's just pretty wild to me, man.
Peter,
but hopefully this year's a lot less
with
drama.
The 7 Canadian, is that Canadian or?
I think so.
CA.
Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it. But yeah, man.
It's Canadian dollar.
That's going to be the big question. That's going to be the big question. There is which quarterback is Shane Steichen name, and I think that's going to either Twitter's going to be elated tomorrow, or Twitter is going to be a crap storm, and I'm going to stay off of it tomorrow. If that's the case.
Cody, I'll be completely honest, dude. If Daniel Jones gets announced as the starting quarterback tomorrow, I don't know if I can get on X. I don't know if I can.
No, I'll post something and then just get off for the day.
I'm deleting Twitter for the day because I don't know if I can handle it.
I'm just going to come on, do the show.
First of all, to see what people are saying. Secondly, because I'm afraid of what I might say. So
I know.
I'm going to stay off.
I know. I'm just going to just maybe make a post, give my thoughts, and then not look at the thing the whole day if that does happen. It's like I'm hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. That's kind of been our mantra ever since Andrew Luck retired, to be honest with you, man. That's just been the mantra.
Yeah. Apparently, Xavien Howard's jersey number just got announced. He's going to be 37.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. Destin said 37 may be an uglier DB number than even Jalen Jones's 40.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine that? A cornerback room with 37 and a 40? That just makes me want to throw up, to be honest with you.
Wildcat being a Colts fan is awesome. Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I ever remembered seeing Wildcat and whether or not he's a Colts fan is he was playing Fortnite back in 2018 or 19, and when those NFL skins came out, he got the Colts skin. So that's when I knew. So
let's go. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. I remember my one huge, I have a couple huge memories of Wildcat, but man, that Houston game last year, I'll always remember we're sitting in the car and we pull into park and this lady just loses it because she knows she's obviously like your Wildcat. And she's like, you don't know how much
you're talking about the security checkpoint, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that was so
crazy.
Funny.
That was so awesome.
That was awesome. She did to see the genuine reaction and just how excited she got was hilarious. I just got to watch that. Yeah. That was a top 3 fan reaction all time. That does not happen usually.
That was amazing.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. That is great.
Yeah.
That was a great game that we went to. It's unfortunate that we lost it. And I really thought that at the end of that game, I thought the Colts really had the momentum. I truly do believe, Cody, that if we stopped them on that 3rd and 15, then that we were going to win that game. I truly believe that.
Shout out to Gus Bradley for his defense once again failing last year. Gosh, if Gus Bradley's defense was decent in a couple games, the Colts, they won 8 games? They would have won 10 games. If that Houston game and that Jacksonville game, if the defense holds, you win 10 games right there. Crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy just to see how much different the defense has looked in these preseason games and in camp.
Yeah.
Versus what it has looked like under Gus Bradley.
That was pretty strong words from Carly Ursay-Gordon about Gus Bradley. That was crazy. I was like, wow, she did not mince words. She just came out and said it, man. That was
it was crazy to see her, kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say throw him under the bus, but it's just one of those, What'd she say? I missed it.
Let me find it.
I don't remember the exact words. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah.
I think that
okay, this is what she said. Okay. So she was on the local broadcast for that second preseason game. She said, I love Gus Bradley, but it was time to move on from Gus.
and that's just something you don't really just say, right? Like, that's just not something that you say. We don't ever hear, people just say the quiet part out loud. That just isn't something that people typically do. So, everybody knows it. Everyone felt the exact same way. It's just, you don't see people.
It's different when the owner comes out and says it. When the owner comes out and says it on a live broadcast, it's different.
Yeah. That's when the feeling behind the situation. I mean,
yeah.
It's just it's not.
I was going to ask Tyler, are you going to a Colts game this year? Do you have any plans to come to Lucas Oil or go to maybe Tennessee or whatever?
Yeah, I know he said he was thinking about going this year.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so anxious for tomorrow, dude. I'm so anxious. Small chance I make it to one of the first 2 home games. Definitely going to the game in Nashville on the 21st. Wife is 7 months pregnant, so I can't make the trip to Indy after a few weeks. Yeah, I was. I figured that because I know that she said that. Yeah, you guys are obviously pregnant, so that definitely shortens things up a little bit.
Yeah, congrats again.
Yeah, awesome. Definitely. Congrats, man. You're about to have a bunch of children. You still have Keno and running around the house, and you're gonna have an actual human child running around. So that'll be fun. I can't wait to see the videos of that. I mean, there'll be some vlog videos on that occasionally, right? I certainly hope so.
Right.
Oh man, but yeah, dude, I'm so anxious for tomorrow, dude.
Bro, did you see Joe Burrow just get
so wish that I could tell that I could be glued to my phone like all morning, but I can't.
Yeah, I know. Did you see in the preseason, Joe Burrow just got murdered by the Commanders?
I saw that. He was trying to run all over the place and try to make a play, and then he just took the sack and just got mollywopped by 3 people. Stephen Holder even put it out there. He's like, you don't want to see him ever do that again.
No. Jeez. That's crazy. Oh, man. Well, yeah, I think you're right, though. It's going to be so fascinating. I think all Colts Nation's on the edge of their seats right now, Derek, just anticipating what the actual decision is going to be here for the Colts. And I think, like we said, it's going to dictate a lot of Colts fans, either excitement or very, very much disappointment and anger tomorrow. So we'll just have to see, man.
Yep. We'll definitely have to see. You got anything else you want to throw out here before we hop off?
No. I mean, I think we covered pretty much everything here.
Gonna stun everyone when Riley Leonard is named a starter, bro. Freaking of course. Austin says Riley as well. I'm tired of that. I hate people that do that to me. It just gets my blood boiling.
They know it and they do it.
It's like the Chad. Who was it in the preseason several years ago?
Swag Kelly. Yeah, your favorite
Swag
quarterback.
Kelly, yes. The whole Swag Kelly, every single freaking game, I had to hear comments saying Swag Kelly would have won us that game. Like, shut up. I hate people like that, man.
They know it gets under your skin, so they have to do it,
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything else, though.
All right. Well, I think we'll just end it there. It was a great conversation. Thank you again to everybody that tuned in and chatted with us. I mean, there's a lot going on in the Colts world right now. I mean, You're a Colts fan. I mean, I think you're bouncing between slight optimism and insane depression and overwhelming anxiety. I think that's probably.
Are you going to any games this year? People are asking.
Talking about me?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, the plan for us to go to week 1, but other than that, I don't know. I don't know. My parents talked about getting tickets for like me and my brother or something. I don't know, but I don't know. It's hard for me now because it used to be so much easier for us to be able to, go to games, but I don't know if I'll go to any games this year. Maybe.
Okay. We're actually going to be live streaming.
Live stream. Yeah. I mean, that's the question, right? Like that's the problem is if one or both of us go to a game, there's no stream for you guys. So, it kind of sucks like that. We don't really have a ton of other options. So
we'll just recruit Wildcat to do the game for us. How about that?
Yeah. We can do that. He doesn't have to leave.
I'm sure he doesn't have anything else going on in his life that he would want to do that.
Yeah, that he could spend 3 hours or 4 hours of his Sunday afternoons.
That's hilarious.
Literally
man.
it. I may need to join one of these streams. Oh yeah, dude. Heck yeah, man. We'll have to bring you in for sure. Yeah,
we're going to be down in Indy for week 1, guys, at the hangar right by the stadium. So if you guys are down there, we're going to be doing pregame and we're going to be live streaming the game, doing our play-by-play down there. We've got a setup for it. So I'm really excited for that. So if you can be down there, we'd love to have you.
We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Game day vlog to make up for the lack of game day stream. Yeah, we'll definitely. Well, if we're going down there week 1, we'll definitely vlog it. So, please, for the love of God, let's win a week 1 game. Dude, I'll tell you what. I mean, we can.
That would be nice.
Get a streamer book bag to do the stream at the hangar. Yeah, definitely. Yep, party at the hangar. So if y'all are in Indianapolis on that Sunday for week 1, make sure y'all do that. Yeah,
we're gonna be there and come hang out with us and. Come hang it with us. Come hang at the hangar, man. That is going to be a good time, good drinks, good food. It's going to be awesome.
We need fan of the year on the podcast. Yeah, and Seth's been all over the place, man. You saw he did.
I'm sure we could get him if we asked him. What's that?
So he did the halftime show at the game last week.
Yeah,
he did the halftime show with that song, and he got interviewed with the Indy local news, and I think he said he's like gonna be in a Coke commercial, dude.
Seriously?
Yeah, man. He's freaking he's getting a lot going on right now. So
FYI, someone's asking free agent safeties. There you go.
Yeah.
All the guys, if you're curious, if there's anybody you want. There we go. Cool. Well, that's all I got, man.
If you're still in here, we'll definitely we'll coordinate one of those games. We can get you on one of those. Maybe not week 1, but maybe week 2, maybe week 3 or something. But obviously before your child comes, so that way we don't have to worry about that.
When's she due? What's the due date? Out of curiosity.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, Daniel Miller, new member. Welcome to Pass the Juice. Love it.
Nice. Congrats.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for joining the membership gang. Appreciate it. Week 3, I'll be at the game. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Mid-October. Very nice.
Mid-October. Sheesh.
Yeah, week 2 could work.
Yeah, week 2 probably should work. So we'll coordinate that, but yeah, man, I'm just Cody. I just want the season to start at this point. I'm tired of the preseason antics. I just want to hop into the season and just. And Anthony, it sounds like we will get an answer tomorrow. Shane Steichen has media availability tomorrow, so he will be speaking with the media. And obviously, he said he was close to a decision, so that makes a lot of us believe that we'll get a decision tomorrow. So If he doesn't, then I'm going to be pissed. So
Fair
there's
enough.
no reason that he should be keeping us waiting this long. All right.
Right. Yeah.
Did you guys see James Boyd's tweet about Howard? Pretty gross stuff. I don't know if I know what tweet he's talking about.
I don't know.
Is it potentially talking about like his oh yeah. I saw, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, again, Colts did their homework. I don't know where it all stands. So ultimately, to me, I'm not entirely worried about it right now. I mean, it's not the first time that the Colts have taken on a player that had an issue with the law before. So I'm not too overall worried about it right now, but because that doesn't matter how I feel about it. It's not going to change anything. So,
all right, cool. Well, that's it then.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
Definitely. All right, that'll be it. Thank you guys again so much. Again, it was a great stream. Just felt like we needed to get a lot of this off our chests. So really great to see, and great to see all of you guys in here. Again, like the stream as you head out. Again, shout out to FanDuel for sponsoring this stream. Be sure to subscribe as well on your way out, guys. Again, 200 new subs on the channel in basically the last month. So greatly appreciate all of you guys.
Derek, could I do a plug real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know how many of you guys in here who have subscribed to our Reacts channel, but we have kind of a goal that we set this year. I mentioned it before, but we have a goal that we set. We'd love to get that channel to like over 3,000 subscribers. Right now, we're sitting at about right in the middle. Right now, we're at like, well, let me pull it up actually. Yeah, so we're actually about just a little bit shy of 2,500. So if you guys would help us out, we'd really appreciate that. Just bring the Juice Reacts. You can actually go on our homepage and find it there on some featured channels. So if you guys would check that out and help us out, that would be great. Because we obviously try to react to some stuff throughout the course of the season. And as the season gets out, we'll have different reactions up. So we really would appreciate that. But yeah, that's all I got. Just wanted to make that quick plug here as we're getting everything going, and we've gained a lot of new subs on this channel. I'd love to start getting new subs on another channel too.
Definitely. Well, thank you guys again so much. Greatly appreciate it. Again, like the stream and subscribe on your way out. But thank you guys again so much. And as always, go Colts.